Hello, this is Grant Hughes of Grant Hughes Investigates on YouTube. Please hit that like button, share the video, and subscribe. Well, we've got a new document that came out in the Idaho 4 murder case that was 2,300 and something pages long. And I guess to be specific, it is 2,356 pages long. And in there were some diagrams that they drew of the location of blood spatter in each of the rooms. And we also have pictures of the knife sheath finally. All right. So let's take a look at, here's my 3D model of the house. And then I also have these are the diagrams that were in the documents. And these letters here depict where blood was. And then right here, same thing here. And by looking at the images, I realized that these portions here were the walls that they flattened out because it's not three-dimensional on paper. All right, so here's what I'm going to be doing. I'm rotating the walls. So here we go. Here's one of them. This is actually the bedroom of Xander Kernodle. And you can see here that, there's the bed that Ethan Chapin was on. There's blood spatter right there on the wall. There's better descriptions in the documents. I can go over that at some point. And then there's blood above the bed there. And then this is the shelf, or I guess you'd call it like an end table that was turned. And I actually think that's the item that made the thud in the surveillance video from 1112 King Road during the attack. And then there's some more blood spatter over here. And then that's where the mirror was in the corner, the desk. There was a closet there, and that's the door that goes into the room. So over here is Madison Mogan's bedroom. Go like that, and then we'll have the walls come up here like that. And that's the door that comes into the bedroom right here. And there was blood spatter on the wall. That's the bed right there. So if we were looking at my 3D model, it would be similar to this angle right here. Sorry about that. There's actually two people on this bed, obviously, but this is the same angle, and it's 3D. So if I went about like that, that is pretty much what we're looking at right here. So in this picture, you have blood on the wall in these various locations. And then a bunch of blood over here. I don't know if that's a shelf that was put in there. I don't know what that is, that little drawing there. But this is where the blood was on the wall there. And apparently, as you can see, the closet has this little thing that comes out like that. And if you look at my model, it's the same thing right here. And it looks like there is blood right on this, right there. And if we go back to this one, see how they have that sticking out? And if we look at it in the dotted area, they have blood right there. So probably down low on that portion of the closet. Okay, so that's pretty crazy. I thought this was sort of an interesting way to look at it. That's basically what they're showing us is those walls. When you fold them up, that's where the blood was found. All right, so here are pictures of the actual knife sheath, everybody. Look at that. It's over a foot long, the sheath here. This was what was lying on the bed. I think even in my 3D model over in this version, I put a sheath right there. It looks almost exactly the same. And let's go back to the image. We have that shot. We have this one. And apparently this is the button snap that contained the DNA of Brian Kohberger. Now when I look at this knife sheath, I don't see a whole bunch of blood on it. I thought there was other blood stains from the victims all over the knife sheath, and it doesn't look like that. And we go here. This shows you the area that was swabbed right there in purple. And areas swabbed, items 1, 2. So they swabbed on the edges here, and then also on the button snap. And it looks like they pretty much swabbed the whole thing. And there's the back of it. Now, is that misting? That looks like fine blood right there, if that's what these little tiny dots are. And that would be something where it's like high velocity impact, where it's very like misting almost. I don't know if that's what that is. It could just be part of the leather design, but I don't know. It doesn't look natural. And then right here, looks like they swabbed in those areas. And here's the button snap. They have light on there, so there's a little fiber hair right there that was located. And again, I mean, it does look like that could be very fine blood spatter, and then even right there. I wonder if the knife sheath was found on its back or upside down. It would make more sense if that fine misting of blood was on what was showing on the top. And there's that one. All right, now we've got these emails in here. As of right now, the knife sheath is their only item of evidence. They have no other evidence, is what we are being told. And they do have, I guess, the footprints, etc. But this is the only like direct forensic evidence. Like, they have no other evidence, is what we are told. We had some recent developments in the last few minutes. We are rolling a crime scene team up there right now. Probably Jenny, Carrie, Tara, Haley, and Wyatt if they are available, and possibly Ann. This is Moscow PD's case. ISP is assisting, but Moscow is the lead. Bill Thompson at the prosecutor's office is involved and will be the point of contact. The autopsies are occurring today in Spokane. Matthew is going to call their office to let them know what we need specifically and that we need DNA references. All right, let's continue on here. The tan leather K-bar knife sheath, USMC with a logo and snap button strap on the front. Loop and sleeve and rivets used. Bright light to examine. Observe white residue on and near threads. Dark areas of discoloration in material and very small red-brown stains on the back. Note designated as side B in photos. Tested for total stains on back. And all equal O, all as maybe O positive. Collected trace material on the adhesive of sticky notes. 3 on back, 3 on front strap. Pack and small. And then down here it says used 1 swab to swab front strap. Light gray transfer swab. Use 1 swab to swab the edges of handle portion. And then use 1 swab edges of where the blade portion would go in. Light brown transfer to swab consumptive. Use 2 swabs to swab the OTOL positive stain on back. Light red brown transfer concentrated on tips. Consumptive. Note all stains collected. Note, and then the item was left in the custody of Walt Hall. All right, what's the next one? These are emails here. Just got back in the office and was reading your email as Jeff was also calling. Yes, you have our permission to consume any samples collected from the sheath. Please let us know if you all need anything else. Thank you all for your help. Then down here, this message is confidential, may be legally privileged. I guess it's not anymore. I am writing regarding the above-mentioned case to ask for permission to consume any samples of collected from the knife sheath. So I guess that was the reply above for that. And this is the image that I used earlier in that 3D example where you fold up the walls. This is the bedroom, and these are the walls. And this email here says, reviewed reports issued that FAR equals latents, 2 biological screenings, and 1 DNA discuss the unknown male on the knife sheath, and that there was not a CODIS hit on that at state level, waiting for response from Rush search request to national. If no hits discussed, molecular genealogy for unknown male. Bill Thompson authorized pursuing this avenue in the event of no CODIS hit. MOU sent to Ashley Jennings for signature. At the request of the 3 agencies involved, the lab deleted the distribution list for reports, and Rylene will send copies of all issued reports. Note packets to Detective Talbot. It was also requested the lab not release results to anyone else, including our chain of command above Matthew. D2 will take responsibility for updating command staff. Matthew will be in contact if we need to pursue genealogy. So they were talking about genealogy on 11/20. I think that's around the time we were talking about that. Asked about backpack and beer can submitted for bio. Backpack no longer believed to belong to, I don't know what that is right there, but the killer probably. The backpack had nothing to do with anything. And then right here, bio suspected, bio stain, K-bar sheath with USMC logo. It's also mentioned here, there's this huge chain of custody. I can just leave it on the screen for you to look at it. All right, move on to the next one. And the next one. You can just pause the video and watch it. Or read it. And here we go. This is the last one on that. And there you have it. So the K-bar knife sheath was found. We saw the photographs of it. Pretty crazy. And they swabbed all over it, and it seemed to be their only lead that they had, and they were able to get a DNA profile. They checked it against CODIS. Did not exist at the state level. Didn't exist anywhere in any state. And then they ended up pursuing the genetic genealogy just as they discussed in the email chain. All right, so there you have it, everybody. I thought that would be interesting for you guys to see. There's a whole bunch more in these documents. Probably go over that tonight on the show. Thank you all for watching, and as I always say, until next time, be safe out there.